Good morning, guys, or afternoon. Guess depends on when you guys watch this. But I hope your Monday went well. We had parent-teacher conferences kind of last night. We had to either call or email our students' parents to kind of give an update. So it feels like I just went home and now I'm back. So it's still dark outside. If you can see the time, it's 6:43. And that's AM, by the way. So, all right. So yesterday I sent you I sent you a YouTube and a website about egg business in the sense of a loan officer. It's a type of career. The activity that we do for the next probably couple weeks is a career related to what it would take if you were to go and get a loan at the bank. I call this activity the $1 Million Loan because in the end, you might be asking for a fictitious $1 million to start your business. Because when it comes to starting a business, it does take a lot of money. It takes a lot of work to get that going. We are going to take that activity and we're going to condense it down to a smaller unit so that we don't spend as much time on the activity, but it can be super fun. I'm going to kind of explain it today, and you're going to kind of start doing a thought process of the businesses that you would like to start. Keep in mind, this is a group activity, so all three of you do one project. I create a document folders so that you can share them back and forth, and so that I can see what you're doing to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. If there's a little bit of stumbling, I can help provide some guidance. Even though we're going to do a condensed version of it, we're still going to do pretty much majority of it so that you get an idea what it's like to try to start a business and then go ahead and go through that process of working with the bank to try to get that business up and running. So it can be fun. I'm going to go through some examples this morning so you get an idea of how this process is going to work. You're going to find that's very neat. I probably say this about every lesson, but it's one of my favorites. I'm going to be honest, I think I say that at the start of every unit. I forget how much fun some of these lessons are, especially if I haven't done it in a while, but this one I've done every year. So I shouldn't say every year, I started it a few years ago. So since I've started, I've always had a blast. But again, I forget how much fun activities can be, especially with, if we're relating it to what it's like to do it in the real world. So I think kids get an understanding. So we're going to talk about egg business, egg finance, lending money in the next couple weeks with this career, with this project that we are going to do. Again, so basically in the end, you're going to fictitiously try to get a loan for a business that you guys are going to fictitiously start. We're not really going to start the business because there's a lot more stuff behind the scenes. But so to get us going, to get you thought process, I'm going to share some of the previous ideas about these. So this might get a little long, but I would like you guys to get a good understanding of what we're doing here. All right, so the very first year that I started this, watch this. Okay, so the very first year that I started, the name of the business was the Four Amigos Donkey Farm. So, and these were the students that did it. In the end, your final project is a PowerPoint of all the information we gather. We do it two ways. We keep notes first in a Word document, and then you go back and we create a presentation that would be presented. All right, so the idea of this one here is that there are four friends who come back together to start a farm. Okay. Okay. In this scenario, I pretend that you are older. Okay. You have graduated high school. You have graduated college. You have worked for maybe 10 years out into the workforce, and now you're coming back with some friends to start a business. So that's kind of how I always tell it, that you have made your money, you have made an impact in the communities that you have lived in. Now you're going to start your dream business with your friends. So that's how I look at this one. That's how it starts. So what happens is these are all farm kids. Okay. So the twist is, they're all farm kids. They wanted to do something with farming. So in order to make this a little bit more challenging for the kids, they had to add a twist to it. Okay. So I told them, yes, you can do farming, but you can't do farming that you're used to. Okay. So they're used to traditional livestock, raising cattle, hogs, sheep. That's what they're used to. They decided, you know what? They're going to do donkey farms. Okay, so this is the donkey farm. Their donkey farm is in Kansas. And so what you had to do here, I'm going to see if I can pop it up. This was at that time a legit farm for sale that they were going to buy. Okay, so another part of the project is wherever you choose to start your business. It does not have to be here in North Dakota. We find property for sale and we contact them to see what it would cost. Okay, so theirs is in Kansas. They chose Kansas because their donkey farm basically has three purposes. First of all, there is to provide pack animals for hunting. So they located in Kansas because it's kind of between the Rocky Mountains, where there's a lot of hunting, and the Appalachian Mountains, where there's a lot of hunting. So they chose Kansas, so if they had to deliver, they only had to go halfway. Second is, that's where a lot of donkey farms are, believe it or not. We looked it up. Okay. Third reason is they're using it for education to teach younger people about how donkeys are taken care of. So that was the purpose of this farm. Okay. So in the end, this is how much they needed for a loan to start it. Okay. All right. Let's check out another one. All right. Here is, I'm going to be honest, this is probably my favorite one so far that has been done. Okay, so this, you're going to look, is a typical farm that you're going to find up here in North Dakota. As this loads, I'll do a little background. So this farm is actually a corn and barley. Corn and barley. So you're probably thinking, well, what's the twist on that? Because we grow barley and we grow corn. It also had a distillery attached to it. Yes, you're probably thinking, well, that's alcohol, Mr. Fritzen, we're school. Remember, we're not making alcohol. We are starting a business. So this is the White Bison Farm and Distillery. And they chose the White Bison because that was going to be the name of their whiskey. So, again, so if we look here, this is a legit farm. Their farm is actually in Indiana. Okay, so they were going to buy this set of property right here, as you can see. It's very wooded. They were going to clear it and sell the lumber for profit. So here is the farm. So they liked it because it had a gated fence. It kind of came with a place where they didn't have to build a lot of buildings because it came with everything they wanted. And what nice thing about this is to help profit. It's kind of, part of it was going to be kept as a wooded area, and they were going to turn it into a recreational place so people can bring in campers and go hiking, camping, swimming, because it did have a water feature. It had these unique little cabins throughout there. So again, they took something that they're familiar with, raising barley and corn, and they added a twist to it by adding a distillery in Indiana. And they chose that because that is the area where a lot of distilleries are located: Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee. So they stuck to that area. They want to be in the market, so they have their farm in that market. All right, let's go back another one here. What's this one here? Okay, this one's a little bit more unique here. Let me see if I can find the PowerPoint on this one. Is this it? Nope. This one's got to have the PowerPoint. What's this right here? I have to know. Okay, well, I don't quite know where the PowerPoint went on this one. I'm going to have to look that up. This one here, I'm just going to show you the farm, I guess, because I do have those photos. This is going to be an herbal farm in Washington State. So she took something she already knew, raising some. She knew how to garden because their family had big gardens, raising herbals. She understood how herbs worked. She turned it into more of creating, like, how do you say it? Like herbal care. So she took it and she was going to make stuff, more natural stuff for healing type things. So hers was in Washington, the state. She chose this farm right here. This is a big building. Half of it was going to be her business. Half of it was going to be her living space. And she has all of this land here that she can plant on. And they get this. This is an old airplane runway for small planes. She was going to put greenhouses on that so that she can grow her herbs. So that's where this one is. Kind of another photo of the farm. I just really don't know where the PowerPoint went for this one. But this one was a little bit more challenging, especially since we're doing with some medical stuff here. We had to get some additional licensings. So, you know, we had to look up certification to be an herbalist. That's what this one was about. Okay, so last year I kind of had two. Okay, this one here was probably my favorite of last year's. This one here is a horse place. So the Whispering Pine riding and boarding. So basically, it's a place where you can board your horses. Also, you can rent horses to go for rides in the mountains, because this one's located in Utah. And the third thing they had tied with this is that it is also a therapy place for people who need maybe horse therapy, maybe companion animals. So they would come out here and get to ride the horses, work with the horses, be around with the horses. So again, that's what this one is about, is horse. And the last year's, and then we had two last year. That's the agreement. Here's a presentation. This one here was kind of this kind of unique in the sense of it was a cattle farm. Okay, so they knew how to raise cattle, but half the cattle were for showing and half the cattle were just to raise for market. Okay, so they had two enterprises going on here. The twist was, you know, the show cattle, they were only buying high quality show cattle, and they were selling them also. So, and then the other part was just raising some cattle to send to market. Kind of the market cattle kind of helped with the show cattle in the sense of, you know, if they weren't selling or they had a bad year, they could go back and rely on the cattle they kept on the farm and not worry so much. So that's kind of the idea behind them. So what I want you guys to do today is I will share a document with you. It's going to be called Classroom Notes on Lessons for now. So this is going to pop up in your email today. What I want you to do on this, once this loads up, is start thinking of basic ideas for businesses, okay? Maybe it's crop farmer, beef farmer, okay? Just list some things. Remember, yes, all of the ones that we have done deal with farming in general. They do not have to. When I start this lesson out, kids list everything down that possible. For example, one year we had plumbing down, okay? They wanted to start a plumbing business. They want to start a welding business. They want to start a pet store. They want to start maybe a veterinarian clinic. So list things, talk to each other about, okay, what of our interests, okay? Granted, you all come from some type of farm background, that's fine. It's gonna make it easy, but list other things that maybe you want to sell farm equipment. That's a legit business. Maybe you sell barns or something along that lines. Remember, it doesn't have to be farming related. Okay, just think of all the stuff in the agriculture industry. Maybe you run a wildlife habitat. Or maybe I'm trying to think what they're called, where you have the massive amount of acreage and you put wildlife out there and people can come and they pay a fee and they can hunt. I don't know what those are called. I really don't. I know up in Botno, long time ago, when you guys were just little people, this guy started a wild hog hunt. So he had all these wild hogs in this huge fenced off area, and you paid to go hunt. And he kind of helped you. So guiding, I don't know, maybe you're a guide for hunting, but in the end he got sick of it. He released them all into the wild. People were shooting wild hogs, because think about it. Wild hogs would kill a human, so people were scared to death sometimes to go out there. So maybe that's what it is. Or you run a nature preserve. So remember, it doesn't have to be with hunting. It can be anything. So what I want you to do here is write down. It can be as many as you want. Then the next process is we are going to start eliminating ones we don't want and start getting it. Remember, if you choose something, for example, if you choose to be a grain farmer, which is absolutely fine, I'm going to make you put a twist on it so that it challenges you a little bit. Maybe you're a grain farmer, but you raise a grain that you're not used to. Okay? Maybe I pretend that maybe we're going to say, okay, we're going to grow cotton. So if you think about it, if we're going to grow cotton, we're not having our farm in North Dakota because the weather doesn't allow us to grow cotton up here. So we'll find something down in the south. So keep in mind, so on this document right here, write down ideas that you guys want to. It's going to be shared with everyone. So it's going to be you three plus me, so that I can see what kind of businesses you're coming up with for this project. And then we'll go from there. So we'll take it step by step by step so that this is an easy process. And who knows, maybe sometime in the future I'll offer a farm management class or an ag business class. It's normally where I teach this, and we'll do the whole project. I mean, you'll have the bases done, we'll do the whole project. It can be fun. The kids have a blast with this one. All right, so I'll check tomorrow to see what kind of business is. So other than that, I hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.